series of numerous statements addressed to Emerson Tambudzo Mnangagwa concerning these following individuals. That is John Mangujga, Mthuli Ncube, Professor Mthuli Ncube, George Kuvamatanga, Chris Mutswangwa, as well as others. Also, Takurei being involved. And also earlier on, I think I read about yes, I read about Wicknell Chiva, so I would not cover the one for Wicknell Chiva because I've already done that. I'll try to squeeze all these two statements that I see here that he has actually posted, and we try to sum it up. I thought it was just gonna be one statement, but it appears they are numerous statements that have been posted by Blessed Geza. I have seen a lot of people trying to downplay this, thinking that Blessed Geza doesn't have a plan. I repeat, remember, this is not a protest called by a civilian without the experience to fight a war. This is not a protest called by just a mere politician. This is a protest that is called by someone who has been in the military, who has fought a war, someone who has experience also politically, and someone who understands how ZANU-PF works, and someone who has been involved into a series of successions within ZANU-PF. We are not talking about an amateur here, a chancer, a false prophet. We are speaking about someone with the know-how of the system and who understand what he is doing, and someone who has spoken before and we saw action, and there is absolutely no doubt to doubt him. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. I have made this point. In Zimbabwe at the moment, we don't want 2030. So anyone who actually presents himself as a formidable force to stop 2030, that person has to be supported, rather than individuals who are just doing nothing but speaking. We will see about them maybe after this. And if Blessed Geza and the team do what Mnangagwa is doing, we will equally do so to also remove them. That is as simple as that. We will use the same tactics to also remove them. And I maintain this. If they do what Mnangagwa, so at the moment, the most important and urgent thing is not to politic. It is to stop Mnangagwa. Without stopping Mnangagwa, the country is going, nowhere. People will continue to suffer. They have suffered enough, and he has shown, I think, Zimbabweans beyond reasonable doubt that he is a useless president. And the more he stays in power, the more harm he does. So let me read what Blessed Geza posted. He says, for looting between US 800 million and US 1.2 billion of public funds in opaque good deals, Sakupanya should be in jail. He was assisted by Dr. John Mangujga, Professor Mthuli Ncube, George Kuvamatanga, and Chris Mutswangwa. They should be in jail. No to corruption. And then let me read the statement. It's almost written. Let me just check it so that I don't mix up issues. Right, so there is a statement. Yes, let me read this statement. It appears it wasn't written today. It was written on the 11th of October. Just bear with me. Yes, I'm there. It says, an open letter to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, 11 October 2025. His Excellency President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, State House, Harare, Harare, Zimbabwe. Subject: an urgent appeal for action on the alleged gold tollgate fraud costing the nation an estimated United States 800 million to 1.2 billion. Your Excellency, we, the concerned citizens of Zimbabwe, write to you today with a profound sense of duty and urgency regarding matters of grave national importance that have come to light. We are taking the unprecedented step of an open letter because the avenues of accountability which your government is constitutionally mandated to uphold appear to be entirely compromised and unresponsible to one of the most staggering acts of brazen looting in our nation's history. We bring to your office serious allegations of a sophisticated financial scheme widely referred to as the gold tollgate fraud, which has allegedly resulted in the systematic siphoning of approximately US 800 million to 1.2 billion from the national coffers. It is with deep respect to your office and a firm belief in the principles of justice and accountability that we lay these facts before you, appealing for your immediate and decisive intervention. Let me see. 3. The scheme, as understood from available information, allegedly operated as follows. Following your assumption of office in 2017, a sole gold buying license was granted to Mr. Petsisai Scott Sakupwany, a gentleman whose long-standing personal proximity to you is a matter of public record. This license created a mandatory toll gate through which all small-scale miners, the backbone of gold production, were forced to sell their gold to Mr. Sakupwany before he in turn sold it to Fidelity Gold Refinery. While a legitimate business model would have yielded a modest margin, it is alleged that a conclusive scheme was devised involving certain high-ranking officials. This scheme supposedly mandated that the Ministry of Finance pay Mr. Sakupwany an additional 10 to 15% premium in US dollars on top of the international market price for every ounce of gold delivered to FGR. This premium amounted to an estimated 100 to 150 million annually, was not for any additional service, but is alleged to have been a fraudulent levy, effectively causing the nation to sell its gold at a significant loss. Over the past 8 years, this cumulative loss is estimated at a staggering 800 million to 1.2 billion. Your Excellency, number 4. The individuals allegedly involved in orchestrating this scheme alongside Mr. Scott Sakupwany are said to include prominent figures such as the former governor of the Reserve Bank, Dr. John Mnangagwa, the Minister of Finance, Investment Promotion and Economic Development, Professor Mthuli Ncube, the Permanent Secretary, Mr. George Kuvamatanga, your former Special Advisor, Mr. Chris Mutswangwa, your then member of the Presidential Advisory Committee, Mr. Gudawashe Takwirei, and the former ZANU-PF Treasurer General, Mr. Patrick Chinamasa. 5. The scale of these allegations is unprecedented. This is not a political matter, but a severe criminal and economic issue that strikes at the heart of our nation's integrity and prosperity. It represents a direct theft from the pockets of every hard-working Zimbabwean. especially our courageous small-scale miners who labor under perilous conditions only to have the full value of their efforts undermined. 6. Therefore, we respectfully but firmly read this. We respectfully but firmly, take note of this wording, demand the following actions. A. An immediate and transparent investigation. We call for a swift, credible, and public investigation by the Zimbabwe Republic Police, and the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, ZAC, into these allegations. The investigation must be free from political interference and its findings made public. B. Accountability and prosecution. Should the investigation substantiate these claims, all individuals involved, regardless of their positions or status, must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. C. Asset recovery. We demand the immediate freezing of assets belonging to all suspects and the initiation of asset forfeiture proceedings to recover every cent of the looted funds for the people of Zimbabwe. Your Excellency, 7. Your proximity to the key alleged perpetrator, Mr. Sakupwanya, and the other officials named, make it imperative that you demonstrate leadership by allowing law to take its course without fear or favor. The people of Zimbabwe are watching and waiting for a clear sign that no one is above the law. 8. We believe that acting upon this matter is crucial for restoring public trust and securing the economic future of our beloved nation. 9. We remain hopeful that you will heed this call and act decisively to end this alleged grand corruption and ensure justice is served. 10. The choice is yours. Okay, the Zimbabwe people see the looting and impunity history is recording. 11. Respectfully yours, Comrade Blessed Runesu Geza, for and on behalf of concerned citizens of the Republic of Zimbabwe, copied to the Speaker of the National Assembly, the President of the Senate, the Chairperson, Joint Operations Command, the Commissioner General, Zimbabwe Republic Police, the Chairperson, Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, the media, and the public. So this is the first statement. I will come to the next statement before I actually sum up. I'll be 2 minutes in terms of my summing up of everything. Just bear with me. We have to do this on this live broadcast. We demand the arrest. Let's check. Okay. It appears there are many. So there are about 3. Just bear with me. I'll be very quick on this one. We demand the arrest of Takurei. His assets must be frozen. He stole 1.9 billion of public funds through Gubimba. The money should have transformed our hospitals, schools, and restore dignity to civil servants. Passing corruption. 17 October, Mo Street. That is what Blessed Geza is saying. Another letter documented on the 11th of October 2025. It says, His Excellency, whatever, addressed to the State House. I don't have to read this reference. An urgent and public appeal. The 1.9 billion Gubimba haste and the systematic collapse of accountability under your watch, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, 1. We address you today with a profound sense of national emergency and a heavy heart. We are compelled to make the extraordinary step of an open letter because the formal channels of justice and accountability in Zimbabwe have been rendered mute, compromised by the very individuals entrusted to uphold them. When a state fails to prosecute a crime of this magnitude, the public has not only a right but a duty to speak. 2. This letter concerns the sanctioned individual, Mr. Budawashe Takwire. Just a moment. Mr. Budawashe Takwire, and the fraudulent extraction of US 1.9 billion from the people of Zimbabwe through the purported sale of a 35% stake in Gubimba Mining House to the Mutapa Investment Fund. 3. We write with direct reference to the CPZ Capital Valuation Report of October 2023, which served as the blueprint for this grand theft. A forensic juxtaposition of this document with the known history of the assets reveals a scheme of staggering brazenness. The anatomy of a premeditated looting. Number 4, the anatomy of premeditated looting, that is number 4. The illicit seed asset. Mr. Takwire acquired cornerstone assets, namely 50% of Great Dyke investment from the Zimbabwe Defense Forces and 75% of Sandawana mines from ZMDC from a combined sum that he paid less than 10%, making him not an investor but a processor of stolen state property. B. The criminal re-evaluation. These very same assets fraudulently obtained were then grotesquely inflated by this contracted advisor, CPZ Capital. The report values the 50% stake in Great Dyke, which effectively stole. Which he effectively stole at US 535 million. The 75% stake in Sandawana, also grabbed, is valued at a mind-numbing US 1.9 billion. This is not valuation. This is a criminal fantasy designed to launder stolen goods into legitimate treasury funds. C. The siphoning mechanism. By packaging these fraudulently valued assets into KMH and selling a 35% stake back to the government, Mr. Takwire did not only engage in commerce, he executed a sophisticated siphoning operation from just 2 assets he previously stole from the state and few other worthless assets he had from the bankrupt Mwana Africa, which was in administration. He siphoned 1.9 billion from our national treasury. The insult is further compounded by the fact that he was paid the 1.9 billion in treasury bills, which carried a coupon of 5% PA, guaranteeing him an additional perpetual annual interest of 95 million US dollars paid by the taxpayers whose assets he stole and sold back to them at a staggering inflated valuation. Your Excellency, this is not a political opinion, it is a financial fact laid bare by the transactions on document. To pay 1.9 billion based on such a flimsy and conflicted document is an act of either incomprehensive negligence or deliberate complicity by your government and its officials, Mr. President. 6. We have chosen this public forum because your administration has demonstrated a total and utter failure to self-correct. This is not an isolated case of grand corruption and looting. It is a symptom of a captured state. And then A, failed institutions. The law enforcement agencies under your command have shown no appetite to investigate this heist. The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission and the Zimbabwe Republic Police remain silent. The Prosecutor General has not acted. The institutional paralysis in the face of probable monumental theft indicate a deep-seated compromise. B. Complicit officials. Senior officials in the Office of the President, the Ministry of Finance, and the Reserve Bank are alleged to have been instrumental in facilitating this fraud. When the very officials meant to safeguard the Treasury are accused of orchestrating its looting, to whom else can the citizenry appeal? To whom else can the citizenry appeal? That's a question. C. Culture of impunity. Mr. Takurei continues to operate not as a fugitive, but as a celebrated businessman. This impunity signals that Zimbabwe is open for business, not for all, but for a criminal elite that operates above the law, protected at the highest levels. The time for silence and inaction is over. We therefore demand the following immediate and transparent actions. A. Immediate arrest and prosecution. The immediate arrest of Mnangagwa Takurei for fraud, money laundering, and corruption. The subsequent swift and public prosecution to the full extent of law. B. International investigation. Given the compromised nature of domestic institutions, we demand the establishment of an independent, internationally backed judiciary commission of inquiry with full powers to investigate this transaction and subpoena all involved, including senior government officials. C. Comprehensive asset forfeiture. The immediate freezing and state reclamation of all assets, both locally and internationally, acquired by Mr. Takurei, his family, and his associates using the proceedings of this and other corrupt activities. D. Suspension and prosecution of accomplices. The immediate suspension and investigation of all officials who participated in the facilitation of this fraud, including the Permanent Secretary of Finance, the former government of the Reserve Bank, and the Minister of Finance, with a view to their prosecution. 8. Your Excellency, your presidency stands at a historic crossroads. Our path leads to a legacy defined by the impunity of a criminal cabal that has bled the nation dry under your watch. The other path requires you to break from this cabal, to use the power of your office to side with the people of Zimbabwe, and to initiate the most significant anti-corruption action in our nation's recent history. 9. The choice is yours. The Zimbabwe people see the looting and the impunity history is recording. Okay. Let me go downwards. The other one, okay, here I see it. We wait. 10. We wait your decisive action. 11. Respectfully, it is also written by Comrade Blessed Runesu Geza for and on behalf of concerned citizens of the Republic of Zimbabwe. It is copied to the Speaker of the National Assembly, the President of the Senate, the Chairperson, Joint Operations Command, the Commissioner General, Zimbabwe Republic Police, the Chairperson, Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, the media, and the public. Now, let me see whether I didn't read this. Let me see. I think I read this one. So, okay, let me just use these 2 minutes. I promise it will be exactly 2 minutes to sum up this live broadcast. Now, people may undermine, I've seen some undermining these actually open letters written by Blessed Geza. If you if you take a closer look at these letters are technically written. They're just not written by a novice. They are written and they are backed with evidence. They point us to what has been happening, dating from 2017 when Emerson Mnangagwa inherited power. They are giving him time, the very shortest time, from now up to the 17th of October. You can count the days that are left for him to do the right thing, to arrest these criminals. If you look at what Blessed Geza is posting vis-a-vis the leakages that Chiwenga has demanded in the past Politburo meeting of ZANU-PF, you will discover that it is interlinked. It's one and the same thing that Blessed Geza is putting on the public domain. Now he wants to give the members of the international community as well as also the people of Zimbabwe in their segmentation in segments about the gross corruption that has been going on. And I like the fact that they don't say ZANU-PF, they say this is done on behalf of the people of Zimbabwe. That is why we are also equally supporting this, because and also in these letters, Blessed Geza makes it clear that Zimbabwe is at crossroads. He tells Emerson Mnangagwa point blank that Zimbabwe is at crossroads. Will they listen to Blessed Geza? They look so pompous and so excited. Definitely, most of these supporters of Emerson Mnangagwa, they have no other security guarantee except being paid peanuts by the Mnangagwa regime, whilst he siphons all these resources and the Zwikanandas. So as we have seen also, these statements detail gross corruption and implicates senior government officials, as well as former officials, and also ZANU-PF members. And in some instances, the remedy is said to be an international commission that would be apolitical, to actually be instituted and look into these issues. And also, one thing that Blessed Geza says, he says things that I think Nelson Chamisa has been saying, that the judiciary and others, not only him, that the judiciary of Zimbabwe is compromised. Zimbabwe Republic Police is compromised. The judiciary system, all the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, they are compromised. Blessed Geza makes it clear that Zimbabweans have lost confidence in the institutions that are supposed to serve the people. And as such, these institutions are incapable of actually ushering justice in the matters that have arisen. As such, he calls for an international commission to look into these matters. And he is giving Emerson Mnangagwa very limited time to deal with this. I think if he fails to deal with this up to the 17th of October, then it is his baby. He says to him, act immediately. The onus is upon him to actually act immediately. If he doesn't, he has been told point blank that this would be consequential. There would be consequences. Now, as usual, I've seen some saying, why Blessed Geza is making the demonstration to be fair? It has to be done strategically, calculatively. Remember, these are people, I said, who have experience when it comes to also fighting for freedom, when it comes also to be in the institutions of government. These are people with experience about the current regime and the current status quo. So their remedy to this current status quo may be effective other than an outsider who doesn't know how the system operates and how rotten it is. They have a detailed, as you see, report. And don't think these are figures that they are getting from their head. They even say they obtained these figures from the various line ministries, and they have evidence about what has been going on. within the regime of Emerson Mnangagwa. So in my view, Mnangagwa is given a very, very limited time to act, and I mean the conditions that is given, they would be impossible for a corrupt president to actually execute. So in simple terms, they are making him to write a test which they know he will catastrophically fail to pass. And I think the future is certain, having said so. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okay, Umhlabane.